What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stephen J, and I'm here with Simply Steve, and we're talking about wrestling, WWE, WWF, UWF, AWA, ECW, and a little bit of TNA. We're gonna get right on to it. When is the next pay-per-view? It's Night of Champions. When is that?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Might talk a little bit of Night of Champions. We're gonna do our Raw recap. So Raw started off last night with the cage match between Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho. First of all, let me just go ahead and say that was the match of the night.
Yes, it was. Because the Roman Reigns and Randy Orton was not as good as the one at SummerSlam.
Exactly. So that was my match of the night. Was the and just for a second, I'm gonna go back to the Monday Night Wars real quick. That was the first match, Jericho versus Bray Wyatt. If you remember the Monday Night Wars, Triple H said after DX went on and they came back behind the curtains, they were challenging everyone. Everyone was basically inspired to try to top what they did. So, you know, Rock came out and did his thing. Stone Cold did his thing. The Nation did his thing. Before DX, the New Age Outlaws tried to do their thing. So it was a competition, and everybody tried to top each other. So again, here we have again Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt starting off the match, and it is a match, especially when Jericho was at the top of the ring and he just did like this, and then he flew off the top of the cage onto Bray Wyatt.
Messed up his knee though.
The fact is, you would think that whoever's following that match, all right, let's try to keep the momentum going. I said this about WrestleMania. I said this about Extreme Rules. I said this about SummerSlams. And unfortunately, to me, it just did not happen. You thought, like he said, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton was going to be like it was in the last pay-per-view. It was definitely a far cry from it. So I was definitely disappointed with that match, even though I kind of see what they're trying to do with Randy Orton and everything. But I don't think the rest of the wrestlers in the back followed Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho with the match that they did. I just don't think they did us justice for free TV, not $9.99. But I mean, it's just, I think that's probably why everybody longs for the Attitude Era again, because those guys gave it their all. And I'm eating my dinner again because I just got off work.
Alright, so next, Dolph Ziggler was in the ring. He was talking about the recent photos of some celebrities.
Yeah, that was stupid.
And he showed some pictures of The Miz.
Again, I was a Miz fan when he was the must-see World Heavyweight Champion. I like his swag. Still like his theme music. I think it's one of the best. But ever since he's lost the title, The Miz has just been boring. Not awful. He's been awful. And this gimmick, he's the star and he's Hollywood Miz or whatever you want to call him, and now he's working with Damien Sandow. And I'll even make reference to the Attitude Era again, thinking about The Miz and Sandow. You didn't really have no goofball acts.
That's because WWE had enough of that, and they was trying to do what they can to catch up with WCW.
Right, but I mean, like, you didn't have a guy like Sandow came out and did his comedy routine. You didn't have who was the other guy? Santino, who turned into a comedy act. You didn't have some guys like 3MB that just came out. You're getting paid basically for nothing just to come out to make people laugh, but you're really not making people laugh. The stuff that Mick Foley did as Mankind, as Dude Love, as Cactus Jack, when he came out and he made people laugh, that in the Attitude Era was funny. But he still gave everybody what people wanted to see, which was a good match, a hardcore match or whatever. But Damien Sandow was just boring. And I'm going to tell you why. Well, I'll tell you later what I think they need to do with that. Go ahead. What was you gonna say?
That there's basically just no competition now, and for the WWE, so they're just basically they can do whatever they want.
You got TNA.
That ain't much of a competition.
I'm sorry, Impact Wrestling.
That's not much of a competition. Maybe if they stepped up their game a little bit, if people weren't too busy talking too much or whatever, then maybe.
Well, I can't say that because DX talked a lot. You know, The Rock talked a lot. You know, Stone Cold talked a lot.
But we liked it when they talked.
Okay, because they not only wrestled, but they were entertaining. So it wasn't the fact that they talked for 10 or 15 minutes. It was entertaining for that 15 minutes.
Well, like I said, there's no real competition. Yeah, they're the other TV wrestling company, but if they want to compete with the WWE, they're going to have to do something. I don't know what. They're going to do something.
First of all, they're about to go off the air. Well, they did extend their contract to the end of the year. They're moving to Wednesdays from Thursdays because they don't have to compete with Monday Night Football. So they're moving to Wednesday night. If I was WWE, I would move my thing to Wednesdays just to spite to see what would happen. But go ahead.
That's basically it. Other than, like I said, they ain't got no competition, so there's really nothing to worry about. Oh, we go ahead and do this, ain't no problem.
Well, all the more reason why, again, you want to give if you're trying to get people to buy the WWE network, you got to give them a great product, not just cheap pay-per-views.
That's why they got all this other stuff like on there, like Countdown and WrestleMania Rewind, and you can relive the Monday Night Wars or whatever.
Right, but what's the point of reliving when you want it now? It's like, oh man, nobody really relives.
We'll relive because I was born during the Attitude Era, so I want to know what went on, why it was so hype, and how WWE got on top.
You do know how it got on top.
I want to see it. I just don't want to read about it.
I understand that. I know how they got back on top. They went from G rating to R rating. They decided to go from the characters to the actual names. And they put a little edgy stuff in there. And that's how they started, like, okay, it's no longer the superhero characters. It's no longer Marvel or DC Comics from the WWE. It's actually real people.
Alright, well, anyway.
Matter of fact, The Undertaker is the last, basically, character that was like supposedly superhuman or whatever. Other than Stinking Cena.
His brother Kane was supposed to be that too. Because their characters are brothers, so they're supposed to be like supernatural or whatever. But you know, whatever. Anyway, then we had a Divas tag team match: Rosa Mendes and Natalya versus AJ Lee and Paige. I guess that was just to make up some time.
I didn't even see that. I don't really care.
Alright, so
I think I fast forward through it.
So here's the interesting segment. Paul Heyman has his message for John Cena. Paul Heyman comes out and he's like, I got a message for John Cena from my client Brock Lesnar. Cena comes out and he's like, what you gotta say? I'm right here. He's like, nah, now that you're out here, I have to change it. I'm gonna give you something else. I'm gonna give you a way to beat Brock Lesnar.
Are you smiling because you're happy to see your father?
No, I'm just gonna get something to drink. And by the way, you can look at me.
Anyway, so he's like, I'll give you a way to beat Brock Lesnar. He was just like, basically what he said. I find that very interesting. But he was like, just give in, just get rid of the t-shirts, get rid of the nice guy act, get rid of the whole, it doesn't bother me that the people tell me how much I suck. Get rid of that and just tell these people to shut up or whatever like that. And you know, to be quite honest, John Cena kind of gave I'm gonna say he gave a good backup plan of why he can't just go heel, why he can't tell these people to shut up. He gave a good explanation. I can understand now why, okay, this guy can't go heel. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna say that too. He gave the whole Make-A-Wish Foundation, the whole army thing, the whole hustle, loyalty, respect.
He gave a pretty good explanation.
But that ain't the problem. That's not the reason why I'm sorry, let me correct. That ain't the reason why all the adults hate John Cena and all the kids love him. Because of course, if my son likes John Cena and I got money to buy him a Cena shirt, of course I'm gonna buy him a Cena shirt. Even though I don't like him, my kid likes him. So I will buy something that he likes. So John Cena using that argument, well, their father buys their kids. Okay, the father still my kid likes you, so of course I'm going to come up to you and say, hey, can you give my kid an autograph or something like that? But the whole argument that he did with Paul Heyman, I 100% agree with what John Cena said. But the fact of him going heel has nothing to do with that, because he would still do the Make-A-Wish. He would still do the thing for the troops. He would still do that regardless.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, it's just still just think about it. There's a lot of faces out there like Sheamus and the Usos and whatever, and Chris Jericho, but they always ask for John Cena. So I guess whether or not he goes heel or not, they'll still ask for him, but I'm just saying he still gave a pretty compelling reason why. Okay,
and that was the first time I actually seen, okay, maybe that's the real John Cena right there. Except for the whole faking. And somebody here, and I got to find out who recorded Stupid Total Divas. And so it was on, and I was like, let me watch this stupid show. So I'm fast forwarding through it, and there was a scene in there where just about WrestleMania, Brie and Daniel Bryan were about to get married. And I guess Nikki told her family that she was married before, and apparently Cena didn't know. And then apparently their brother with Cena, I can't believe how you just took it. And after she told her, you're cool with it, and man, you're a better man than me. Because when I found out, I was mad. And then John Cena was there, was like, yeah, all right. And I'm like, that's the same fakeness that I'm talking about. Number one, after watching that for 10 or 15 minutes, I know it's scripted. Okay? Number two, again, it's Cena's bad acting that makes him unbelievable. You believe that Hulk Hogan had superhuman strength, that from my cheers, he hulked up. You believe that Stone Cold was the toughest SOB in the WWF. You believe The Rock was the people's champ. You believe that Edge was the rated R superstar. You believe that Shawn Michaels was Mr. WrestleMania. You believe Randy Orton is the legend killer. You believe Triple H is the Game. You believe Ric Flair is the nature boy who was high flying, jet flying, limousine riding, kiss stealing, all that stuff that he says. You believe them. They made you believe that this is who I am. That I am this. The Undertaker made you believe that he really is a dead man, that he can't die, that he can take a pounding and still pop up. They made you believe all that. John Cena does not.
Okay, well then let's just say for that one scripted moment right there, we saw the real John Cena. We saw the real reason. Maybe it is on TV, so maybe they are acting. I don't know, but for that one moment, we saw who he really was. Maybe it all came out finally, and now we know why.
It's all about money. It's all about money. Because again, WWE's a fairy. If Cena, okay, is John Cena bigger than Hulk Hogan? In the wrestling world, no. He's not bigger than Hulk Hogan. He's not bigger than The Rock. He's not bigger than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Maybe Triple H, maybe Shawn Michaels, maybe Ric Flair. Has he sold more merchandise than all those guys? Yes. I believe he probably has. But again, it's because of the kids. When Austin 316 came out, no adult's going to buy a shirt that has a cuss word on it. They may buy the 316 shirt, because I remember after Austin 316 from King of the Ring, that Sunday, that Monday night, the arena was filled with nothing but Austin 316 shirts. And it was more so the adults and the teenagers that had the Austin 316 on their shirts. John Cena, he has marketing. He's kind of basically what John Cena is pre-Attitude Era Wrestling. He's the guy that what wrestling was like before the WWE. It was characters and superhuman, and they had powers, and they marketed it to kids like Hulk Hogan did with "Say Your Prayers" and "Eat Your Vitamins" and this, that, and the other. John Cena still markets to the kids because there's money. It's kind of McDonald's. McDonald's market all their products to their kids. If we can get the kids are going to bring the parents. The kids are going to eat. The parents are going to eat. If the kids want toys, the parents will buy them the toys because they're kids. So John Cena is marketing to the kids. Well, it's pre old WWE.
Well, you say Cena, the company won't turn Cena heel because they don't want to lose the merchandise, they don't want to lose the kids. Cena himself kind of say he doesn't want to go heel. But then again, when I was watching the Monday Night Wars, they had said that Hulk Hogan didn't want to turn heel because it would go against everything that he's done in his career. When he was in WCW, people were booing him. They were like, "Oh, we're getting sick and tired of you," everything like that. And he was still coming out as a face, and he was just like, "I can't do it. It's just, I've been a face all my life. I've been for the people." Yeah, they're.
Are you sure you watched the same thing? Because I saw the thing where Hulk Hogan was like,
"Wait." Eventually he said, "I'll do it."
No, he said.
At first he didn't want to do it.
No, that's not true. Because I saw the thing where Eric Bischoff was like, "Yeah, we went to Hogan." And we was like, and everybody was expecting like, well, what's gonna happen? This, that, the other. And he was like, "Hey, how about we turn you heel?" And Hogan was like, "I thought that was a great idea. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it." Because it's something that I did years ago, but most people don't remember. But it's something. They wasn't really making all that money on Hulk Hogan. You saw what they were doing. They were giving away free tickets and stuff like that. So they were making money off of Hulk Hogan, but they weren't making the money that the WWE made off of Hogan back in the day with the headbands and the wristbands and the orange and red T-shirts and stuff like that. So
I'm just telling you what I saw. It said he fought it for a while and he didn't want to do it. And then finally, he got convinced and he was like, I'll do it. Because he was like, because I think one of them, I don't know who it was, but he was like, look, they got some guy in WWE named The Undertaker. He's a dead guy, okay? Do you really think that guy's a face? And so he was like, you know what? No, I'll do it. I'll see where it goes. And they're really going to have someone else be the third man for the NWO, but Hulk Hogan came and said, nah, it's going to be me. And when it happened, people were like, what?
I don't think it was a shock.
You just said, but he went heel before and people don't remember it. So
no, but I'm just saying,
it's gonna be like.
And when he did it, it was just like, oh wow, Hulk Hogan. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's what's up. I like this. I like this move. It wasn't like the Undertaker losing shock. It was just like, oh yeah, I like that move. And
people were throwing trash in the ring.
Yeah, they were throwing trash in the ring because they gave them the trash.
Anyway. But that's just what I know. That's what I saw. I just maybe one day Cena will turn heel, regardless of what he wants or what the WWE wants. But for right now, he's gonna stick to his normal self. All right. So then we had Seth Rollins versus Sheamus. I really didn't watch that match like that, but I just know that Seth Rollins won after the distraction from Cesaro when he and Sheamus were playing tug of war with the United States Championship. And after the match, Cesaro attacked him.
I like the Cesaro of Sheamus. It can be something more than what it is now. It hasn't got to the point yet. Like Sheamus, Mark Henry feud, that was a really good feud. Sheamus Big Show feud, again, another really good feud. So far, him and Cesaro hasn't gotten, matter of fact, the Sheamus Wade Barrett feud, didn't they feud?
They had a couple of matches. I'm not sure if it was a feud.
I thought they had a couple matches where
they had a couple of matches, but it just was like Raw and SmackDown, not a pay-per-view.
No, where Wade beat him and then he turned out and beat Wade, and then they fought at a pay-per-view. I forgot who won or whatever, but the feud has the potential to turn into something better.
Well, they did face earlier this year when Paul Heyman was involved in that. Those matches with him was pretty good between Sheamus and Cesaro. So we'll find out what happens when now it's for the United States Championship. Anyway, so then Rusev and Lana come out.
It's my nephew Omar. He's a boxer. He's on the heavy bags or speed bag.
Anyway, so Rusev and Lana come out and they do the Russian national anthem or whatever. She makes fun of the American national anthem or something like that. Oh, and they're gonna have Mark Henry and Rusev are gonna have some kind of arm wrestling this Friday.
Oh, this is stupid.
Then we had an NXT kind of people. We had an NXT tag team match. We had Tyler Breeze, Tyson Kidd, Sami Zayn, and Adrian Neville. Now the only thing is I was confused about. I was like, they acting like Tyson Kidd ain't never been on Raw before. I mean, he was the tag team champions with that other guy. I don't remember his name, but he was
Bulldog's son.
Yeah, he was tag team champion with him, and he's been on Raw with his wife Natalia. So they acting like, oh, these NXT guys stars, you know, I bet it's an honor for them to be on Raw to show the world what they got. I was like,
well, he's 3 out of 4. But let me just talk about the NXT match.
I just want to say though, that guy Adrian Neville, his movie he did up the road, I thought that was nice. I like that.
That was okay.
I was like, oh, it's nice.
It was a 360 twist splash or whatever that you want to call it. I could have swore Justin Gabriel did something similar.
He just did a 360.
Too Cold Scorpio used to do something like that. I don't know who else used to do that splash. Anyway, but I was very excited to finally see Adrian Neville. WWE on their Facebook page, they talk a lot of stuff about this kid. On their Twitter page, they talk a lot about Adrian Neville. And I really must say that I was totally impressed with this cat. He kind of reminded me of Daniel Bryan as far as the energy-wise that he came into the ring. I like the other dude who was the pretty boy, the one that was with Tyson Kidd. I like him. The other guy, I don't know what he's gonna do. They kept saying, "Oh, he's a bruiser, and he'll give you his all, and he'll give you everything he has, and stuff like that." I didn't really see no risk taking other than when he dove over the rope. I didn't really feel that. I didn't really grasp that this is.
I gotta do that.
I didn't really believe him that he was. Oh man, he really is a risk taker, and this, that, and the other.
Well,
I didn't really feel that. Tyson Kidd, I'm sorry, was boring. Adrian Neville, who was the actual rookie, made Tyson Kidd look like the rookie.
Well, if the NXT keeps bringing us guys like they have been, like with the Shield and the Wyatt family and Rusev, then I'd be excited for when this guy finally comes to the main roster.
Here is again. I'm going to bring this up because I brought it up. The whole Damian Sandow. You got Adrian Neville in NXT. Is he ready for Monday Night Raw? No, I don't think he's ready yet. But based off what I've seen right there, oh yeah, it won't be long. I say by January, or at least WrestleMania, he's going to be on SmackDown or Raw. But they got to make sure they do it right. I think they should keep him as he is. Don't bring him in as no character or this, that, and the other.
When Bo Dallas first came in, was he bullied or he was just Bo Dallas?
He was just Bo Dumb. But I like Adrian Neville. The kid has some great upside. I think they might as well just release Tyson Kidd. But the other guy that was with Tyson Kidd, I like his whole thing. That it kind of reminds me of a little bit of Fandango-ish, and kind of reminded me of Goldust when he first came into WWE. That little, he's a little sweet or whatever. He's just a pretty boy. Kind of reminded me of Triple H when he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and he was just so proper. You just can't touch me or whatever because I'm so above you and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me. I like those two guys, Neville and him. I can see like a possible future. Now, here's my other thing is, there was so much news about Kenta being signed by WWE. So the first time that they bring NXT onto the flagship show, why wouldn't you bring Kenta?
Let's see here. Those 4 guys that was in tag team match, they'll be in the main event in the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Championship.
So again, why wouldn't you bring Kenta?
Well, Kenta, I heard he's gonna be on the show. He's not gonna be wrestling though.
Again, if he's as good as he is, why not bring him on the show to have a match? I mean, they did that with who was the guy that beat? I don't even think he's in wrestling anymore. He beat Wade Barrett last year.
Bo Dallas.
Was it Bo Dallas?
Yeah, he took him out the Rumble.
Okay.
He beat him a couple times.
So they brought Bo Dallas on. He beat Wade Barrett, I think, in 2 matches or whatever. It was kind of like they were trying to get the whole thing where he was the 1-2-3 Kid. When 1-2-3 Kid, aka X-Pac, aka 6-Pac, aka Sean Waltman, beat Razor Ramon for the first time, or Shelton Benjamin beat Triple H for the first time. They were trying to get that response, and it didn't really work with Bo Dallas because it was just like, oh, this guy sucks. So that's why he didn't last long. Went back to NXT, and then he came back as Bo Leave or whatever.
Well, he came back even worse as Bo Leave, but it's working, sort of, kind of.
Hey, baby. If you guys can see my camera and see my phone, I'm pointing at my wife. If you can see her in the kitchen.
Anyway, so next we have the Jerry Springer interview.
That was dumb. I don't even want to talk about it, but if you want to talk about it, talk about it.
I don't think there's really anything interesting except that, like I said last week, Brie Bella starting to fight back or whatever. I'm tired because I was getting sick and tired of her running off crying, but that's really it. Nothing really interesting. All right, so then we had Stardust and Goldust versus versus the Los Matadores, and they won the match, and they were coming back up the ramp. They got jumped by the Usos. That's pretty much it. I didn't really pay attention to the match though. I think I skipped it.
Again, I'm still kind of confused as far as the whole Goldust Stardust thing, and they still don't have a known name.
I think it's just Gold and Stardust.
Again,
they don't say Goldust and Stardust, they say Gold and Stardust.
I still think they should go with Dusty Rhodes.
Anyway, so then we had Adam Rose versus Titus O'Neil. Adam Rose ends up winning after Titus
Back
O'Neil.
on Raw for a second week in a row.
After Titus O'Neil
Hey!
got super kicked by the bunny, Heath Slater.
Who did you think is in that bunny suit?
You know what?
I'm gonna write the name down. Shut up for a second. I'm gonna write a name down of who I think it is.
I don't know.
Or at least who it reminds me of.
I'm not sure who
So let's see
but
who you come up with.
All I know is that I just read this article today, and it said the person who may be in the bunny suit could be Darren Young, because for the second straight week, the bunny has got involved with his match, causing Titus O'Neil to lose, and he's going after Heath Slater both times.
Yeah, but that didn't look like any of his moves. Darren.
I'm sorry, I don't think I've ever seen Darren Young give a super kick. I don't know anyone who gives super kicks.
Well,
besides Shawn Michaels or Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. The guy in the bunny suit, his whole demeanor reminds me of Shawn Michaels. The whole jumping and the whole way he walks and stuff like that. And when he did the super kick, I thought they was going to take the helmet off. I hope it ain't Darren Young. I don't really feel him as a wrestler. I think he's horrible.
Well, who do you think?
I thought it was Shawn Michaels.
Why would they put Shawn Michaels in a bunny suit? He's the Heartbreak Kid.
Okay.
It's WrestleMania.
It will be funny.
I don't see what it had anything to do with anything.
Everybody on Facebook?
Alright, so then we have Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. And as I don't know what he's doing. Anyway.
Huh?
Are you listening?
We have Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns.
Is that mine?
And
bring it here.
Like we said, it wasn't as good as the one at SummerSlam. Matter of fact, it ended in a DQ.
If the one at SummerSlam was a 10 and I gave it a 9.5 or a 9.8 because there was another match That was really
Dean
good.
Ambrose and-
Dean Ambrose was a 10, so I gave that match like a 9.8. This match right here was by far a 5. It was just
It was boring and slow.
no chemistry, no whatever there, and it's just like, I'm sorry, I ain't really feeling this match like I felt it, and it just wasn't as good. There were some moments, but it just wasn't like it was before. And you would think if a guy has wrestled a guy several times,
They've been
then they know each other, therefore they should be able to put on a good show.
These two should know each other pretty well. They've been wrestling each other since Extreme Rules. Cause think back to when it was Shield versus Evolution, they had got into it then. Then they got into it again at the next pay-per-view, and then it personally became Randy Orton and Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns had struck Randy Orton had struck Roman Reigns with the chair after Seth Rollins betrayed the Shield. So these two should know each other quite well to the point where they should give better matches every time they lock up.
Who are you talking to? I'm over here.
I'm talking to the fans. You love.
Is he talking to y'all?
Anyway, but after the DQ, so Kane and Seth Rollins come in and they're calling down for the steel cage.
Yeah.
They try to lock him in there.
Let me tell you how I envisioned that match going. When it came down and it was only Roman Reigns and Randy Orton inside the ring, inside the cage, I was like, yeah, this may turn out to be just an all-out brawl between these guys, and they were just going to go at it. That would have been good to end Raw on that note, but it did not. Seth Rollins comes off the top of the cage. Didn't do as good as Chris Jericho, I thought. And they banked Roman Reigns, beat him down, whatever. And it went off that way. So I was very...
Anyway, but they added 2 more matches to the Night of Champions card. So now it's going to be Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho. And it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns at the pay-per-view.
What?
Yep.
This doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
What?
Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns at Night of Champions?
Yeah.
Why isn't he fighting Randy Orton?
Because Randy Orton's fighting Chris Jericho.
For what?
I guess it because he jumped for some reason. I don't know why, but he jumped Chris Jericho when he was in the trainer's room, and he was just like, "It's the season premiere or whatever." And I don't even know
The
they're
legend killer?
I don't know, but that's like he's like that's where you said they're going somewhere with this. I don't know where they're going with it. I don't understand it at all.
He's in a feud, in the middle of a feud, I would say, between him and Roman Reigns.
It's over now.
So he's just gonna... No, it ain't over. He just got jumped.
Well, he's going after Seth Rollins now.
I don't like it.
Well, you also
And I understand they gotta try to keep Seth Rollins in the face of the public since Dean Ambrose is out.
Well, you have to understand. After Night of Champions, Dean Ambrose is coming back. He's coming back that Monday Night Raw. So
How do we know? He called you and told you he'd be back?
no, they said it.
Who said it?
What I read.
Did they announce it on Raw?
Why would they announce when he's coming back? He's supposed to be gone.
Okay, again, it doesn't make any sense for the simple fact
Because they're
that...
trying to keep the Shield feud going again.
Okay.
For when Dean Ambrose comes back, he can finish.
Then
with Seth
what
Rollins.
you can do is have Seth Rollins come out every week and do the rest in peace to Dean Ambrose. And that's how you keep him relevant, and you keep Dean Ambrose relevant.
Well, they keep showing
But don't start a feud between. Hold on, don't start a feud between him and Roman Reigns now.
Well,
and then if he's coming back the day after Night of Champions, which means he's going to come back at the Night of Champions and screw Seth Rollins over, then what does that say?
Well, you have to think that. Hold on. They're just keeping it fresh. They're keeping it waiting for him when he comes back.
Again,
He's gonna come back and try to get some attention, I guess.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't make sense.
Every week they're showing every week for the past 3 weeks before this they were showing every week Dean Ambrose getting taken out by Seth Rollins and Kane.
I get it.
So they're keeping a reminder of Dean Ambrose in the midst of when he comes back. All right, he's coming back to get some redemption or whatever. And the fact that they're throwing Roman Reigns into the mix is so people won't think he forgot about it. I mean, think about it. It's Seth Rollins betrays his heel. He joins the Authority. Dean Ambrose starts going after him, but Roman Reigns starts going after the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. If you was partnering with somebody for over 2 years, saying we're brothers, and then all of a sudden he stabs you in the back, I don't think you're gonna forget about it and just go right to the WWE Championship match. They're keeping him inserted with it. And on Monday Night Raw, it'll probably be a tag team match. Probably Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins and Kane, because they've been partnering up a lot lately.
I said in my piece on it that I disagree with Roman Reigns feuding with Seth Rollins. It just doesn't make sense. Continue to feud with Randy Orton. It ain't over. Again, what did I tell you? Chris Jericho, Bray Wyatt, it's over. It always ends over when it goes to a cage match. That's the signal that, hey, this feud is finally over. We went to a cage. I win it. I believe the Daniel Bryan Wade Bray Wyatt thing, it ended in a feud, in a cage
at Royal Rumble, and it wasn't in a cage. But remember, because he wasn't in the Royal Rumble match when people was booing Batista.
Well, again, my point is, I just totally disagree with. I think that's stupid.
Anyway, so Brock Lesnar's coming back next week, and Cena says they're going to fight.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about that. Well, we did, but the whole thing was, he's not here, I'm going to beat you up. Again, that's why I can't stand you, John Cena. He doesn't here, I'm going to take it out on you. What kind of dumb mess is that?
When Triple H and Brock Lesnar feuded, Triple H was beating up Paul Heyman.
That's because Paul Heyman got involved in the match. Paul Heyman has not gotten involved. He talks a lot of crap, but why would you beat up a guy that's not a wrestler?
It's happened a lot. Alright, so let's go ahead to the SmackDown.
So we're going to get the lowdown from SmackDown.
Alright, so SmackDown opens up with John Cena coming down. Ooh, John Cena's on SmackDown, so this should be interesting. Because he is the brand that gave birth to John Cena.
Was it SmackDown?
Yeah. That's where he made his debut on SmackDown.
The Rock show, might as well say.
And he basically came down and, basically just talking about him and Brock Lesnar's match again until Seth Rollins and Kane showed up. They're blabbing at each other. Roman Reigns comes down and he's like, let's fight. Me and Cena are going to face you two. And they're like,
I don't like that either.
And they're like, nah, you're not going to fight that. You're fighting the Wyatt family. And then that's when Jericho and Big Show and Mark Henry come out. And then that's when Triple H comes out. And he's like, Roman Reigns, John Cena, Chris Jericho, Big Show, Mark Henry. You're facing the Wyatt family and you're facing Seth Rollins and Kane. And he was acting like Teddy Long.
Was he?
Yeah.
Holla, holla. See
they even played his music.
Peace out, Teddy Long. Holla, holla. Player.
I think he's the best SmackDown general manager.
Job, because he ain't got one.
So then we had Dolph Ziggler versus Cesaro.
Has the potential.
Ziggler won the match and then he got beat down by Cesaro. And then Sheamus came in and gave him a bro kick.
Why you stop talking?
I'm going to the next one. So then we had Jimmy Uso versus Heath Slater. And the match was quick. Whatever. His brother Jay was on some crutches, whatever, and they're basically like, McCall and them were basically like questioning whether the Usos will be ready for Night of Champions. And judging by the fact that the Usos jumped Goldust and Stardust, I think they'll be ready.
I don't even watch SmackDown anymore. Again, for some reason, SmackDown for me has changed. When JBL first got there, we like to fight. That was this. We fight on SmackDown. We fight on Fridays is what he said. Or something similar to that. Now it's just... I'm
You
just
gotta think,
not.
some of the top guys that
Again, they
Like,
need to go
they-
back to what I said. Need I say it again?
I mean,
They need to go back to the original. They need to go back to the different brands.
they do, but I mean, guys like like Addy, he told me he actually stopped watching SmackDown after Edge retired because it just got so boring. And I was like, yeah, I understand. It's not as good as it was, and since Taker stopped being full time, he's no longer on SmackDown. Last time he was on SmackDown, he got jumped by the Shield. So,
Matter of fact, your boy Adi said something on YouTube last week, and I gotta find it. He said something. It was actually an interesting point. So go ahead and bring up why I looked that up.
all right, then we had Brie Bella versus Paige, and it was AJ was on one side of the announce table, and Nikki Bella was on the other side. All of a sudden, AJ decides to get up and get in Nikki Bella's face. It's like, you need to get out of here. This is my Divas Championship match or something like that. So they get into it, and so Brie comes and she saves Nikki from what do you call it? She saves Nikki from AJ and gets back in the ring and loses. And I was just confused. I was like, what? Did she push her the week before? And then she's coming
We don't
down the
care.
stairs.
Let's skip the women part. I think that's a dumb angle. Let's skip that part.
All right, so we had Zack Ryder versus Bo Dallas, and Bo Dallas won.
Of course, poor Zach. But he is getting paid high five figures.
Oh,
to
and
do
then
nothing.
Swagger came down and beat him up.
Who?
Bo Dallas.
He finally got his hands on him. All right.
Then we had 10
So I guess
man
the
tag team
whole
match.
Swagger Rusev thing is definitely over now.
Couldn't beat him. See if Mark Henry can do it. World's strongest man. And if
And whatever
not,
happened to the new Nation of Domination? Did they?
they gave up on that. I don't know why. They did it one week. The next week we saw them, and then after that was it. I haven't even seen Biggie or Xavier Woods. And
I never liked Xavier Woods anyway. He's another wrestler. Like, get rid of him.
we haven't seen R-Truth either. I mean, if they had did the whole other nation, I don't know how it would went.
R-Truth has pretty good mic skills. His whole little Jimmy's thing that he did when he went heel.
Oh, that was funny.
That was funny, but it also gave me a little bit more respect for R-Truth as a performer. But it would have been funny if he would, because he has good mic skills out of all of them, for him to be the leader of the nation.
Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Tag team match. It ended in I believe it ended in a DQ. Or did they win? Hold on.
And while he's looking that up, TNA news. Kurt Angle's contract ends again. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
September 21st.
And he says within the next 2 weeks he's gonna announce what he's gonna do. He says whatever's best for his family is either he might re-sign with TNA or he might be. Well, he didn't say WWE. He just says he can't say anything right now. But he was gonna, and he can't wrestle until January because he had an ACL surgery. So
That gives an indication right there. If he can't wrestle until January, then if he is going back to WWE, he can go into the Royal Rumble.
yeah, it makes him into the Royal Rumble. But I would personally love to see him back in the WWE because I think they need him in the WWE.
One, that's a good opponent for Brock Lesnar.
Him and Brock had a good feud, but I want to see him against John Cena.
He's already
Yes,
him and John Cena already gone to
but
it.
we don't like Cena. Kurt can call him out and tell him how fake he is, like Bray Wyatt did. So Kurt is supposed to make the announcement. Of course, WWE can pay him more, but he says he's going to do what's best for his family. He is 8 years in WWE, 8 years in TNA. What's best for I don't know how much they're paying him. Obviously, they probably can't pay him what the WWE makes or anything like that. But if I were him, I would sign with the WWE. But in my contract, I'm not wrestling. I would wrestle every Monday, but I'm not wrestling on Fridays, and I'm not wrestling so many. I'm only wrestling so many house shows. So.
Well, if he's gonna do what's best for his family, WWE has a very busy schedule.
Plus, his kids are older.
And he's like, that's why he was at TNA. You know, it's a very good schedule. They work with you or something like that. But as for him, why I think if he said his next contract is gonna be his last, so I think he should come back to WWE. He can get into it with Brock. He wants him to get in with Cena, but also it'd be interesting because he can get in it with Rusev also. Because let's just say if Mark Henry gets him, yeah. But the one thing that I find interesting though, if Rusev wins the United States Championship,
I would love to see Kurt Angle come back, and he would be the perfect guy to go against Rusev.
True.
But by the time Kurt get there, Rusev will probably be, he's still undefeated as a single wrestler. Whatever. We're tired of that.
Why we got so many guys who go undefeated? It makes me angry.
All right, so your boy Adi said Undertaker gets paid somewhere from $2 to $3.5 million, and he says he can see Roman Reigns turning into Cena. So I asked him a question. I said, "Well, why do you say that?" And he says, one, if you haven't noticed, his riot gear has started to have neon color edges, blue, yellow. I never noticed that, so I'm going to have to take a look. He says kids are starting to love him. He has like the same amount of moves like Cena, Superman punch, spear, and the kick. He does get a pop all the time. It's Roman Reigns turning into John Cena. That's what your boy Adi says.
I talked to him about that, and I told him, will he replace John Cena? Yes, but I said, is he replacing him? Will he turn into the next John Cena?
Well,
I don't know about that.
John Cena, for the most part, has a little mic skills. He has basic mic skills. He had good mic skills when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics.
He could rap and shit.
And he would disrespect you with the rap, which I thought was hilarious and funny, and it was entertaining. Right now, he's just, I'm gonna hurt you. Let's fight me now because I'm the best. And why we gotta talk about it? Let's just do it. If you want some, come get some. But do I see Roman Reigns turning into John Cena? Roman Reigns doesn't have mic skills. Yes, the fans like him. The kids like him. But again, I think he can.
Adults like him too, though, right?
I think he can be in that middle of a Stone Colder, meaning that he's not really a face, but he's not really a heel. But he's that guy that, oh man, he's a real bad guy. He's a bad guy that's good. He's a real butt kicker or whatever, if you want to say that. But he's a guy that, oh man, he really jump up in your face. He's no nonsense. He's nobody to mess with. He's like the Stone Cold. Oh yeah, he's really tough. He kicks some butt. But you really like him because of his swag and his attitude and stuff like that.
Well, just like The Rock, nobody can replace The Rock with his mic skills. Stone Cold is the original anti-authority guy. So to have so many guys like Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns to be going against authority, they're great.
Stone Cold was the exception.
Stone Cold was the original.
No, he was the original going against authority, but he wasn't that. Stone Cold wasn't Daniel Bryan that played to the crowd. Yes. Stone Cold never played to the crowd like Daniel Bryan's. Yes, to get the crowd to come in and join him. He was never like Shawn Michaels jumping on the ring and he did this. That was it. That's all he did. He wasn't Shawn Michaels or Hulk Hogan like this to try to get the fans involved. He wasn't like this. He wasn't like, come on, I need this energy or anything to pump me up. No, Stone Cold was about business. He will beat you down and whatever and give you the finger and this, that, and the other.
He was like, if you think I should kick this guy's butt, give me a, everything like that. And he was like,
that was it, because it was like, oh yeah, I like this guy.
That's what's gonna get them into it.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Then there's their.
Daniel Bryan doesn't have that. Daniel Bryan is a baby face. He is a baby face. He's definitely not. He's going against authority, but it's that journey of overcoming the odds. That's Daniel Bryan. Stone Cold wasn't overcoming any odds. He was just outright rebellious and like, hey, I'm gonna do what I want. And if it's going against you and you stand in my way, then I'm just gonna have to go over you because this is what I want to do. But if you're not in my way, I don't care.
Okay, Daniel Bryan was more of a trying to just go over with the fan. Roman Reigns, I wouldn't say. Okay.
Why is this table all sticky? Spilled stuff over here.
Can you really say that Roman Reigns like Stone Cold Steve Austin? If you're in my way, I'm gonna knock you over.
Yes, and yes, little, no. Because Stone Cold, as far as him being like, oh yeah, this is guy not to mess with, If is he coming at you? Yeah. He has that presence of he's a tough guy. Yes, Roman Reigns. Mic skills? No, he doesn't have mic skills. You may give him a chance to say it, but again, his mic skills are basic. Oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Come on, fight me. That's Roman Reigns. That's all you're gonna get right now. He hasn't come out again. Let's look at mic skills for who's the best. Let's say The Rock. He's the best at the mic skills. Ric Flair. He's up there. He's in my top 5. Shawn Michaels. He's in my top 5 as far as mic skills. But if you're looking at The Rock, nobody knew The Rock can actually was as good as he was, not wrestling, but as far as with the mic, when you gave him the mic, and he was like, yo, that was funny. Like when he first took the mic, I can't believe that you're sitting there talking about Rocky sucks or whatever, or something like that, and The Rock, know your stuff. He was like, oh, this guy's good. It was like, wow, he's got something. Let's give him the mic more. Roman Reigns, I don't see that. Stone Cold is just like, he's that kind of like, yeah, he's good. He's good. He's bad. He's tough. He'll kick some butt right then and there when he gets the mic. Hey. Roman Reigns, I don't see that yet. So again, if they keep him in that range in the middle versus, I don't need him to be a face. I don't really want him to be a heel. I liked him actually as a heel with the Shield. He was quiet. He was like the enforcer to Arn Anderson. Don't really need to say much. I could do my stuff talking in the ring. I like that aspect of him. But if he's gonna, he's a face. You might as well say he's a face, but you gotta keep him in the middle. Not, let's team up John Cena, not playing to the crowd. That just kills it for me when you want to do that. Because there's some guys that can do it. Adam Rose, he needs the crowd. Chris Jericho needs the crowd sometimes. Shawn Michaels needs the crowd. Stone Cold didn't need the crowd. Rock didn't need the crowd. John Cena needs the crowd. Hulk Hogan needs the crowd. Ric Flair needs it, not so much needs it. Roman Reigns can be that guy that doesn't really need the crowd, but can go out there and do a thing. Goldberg did not need the crowd. He went out there and he dominated. So Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns can be a Goldberg over a John Cena if they do it right. Don't put it on any color. So I would say put him like a Goldberg where he's a face, but yet,
is he the next John Cena though? Is he going to be the face of the company?
He can. He can, but I will say this. If Adrian Neville keeps up the way he showed me on Monday night, you will have another reunion of the Attitude Era. And by that, I mean 3 top guys. And that's Stone Cold, The Rock, and DX. As far as like, I can't wait till these guys give them 20 minutes each to do their thing or whatever. So you got Roman Reigns and up and coming again. You got Adrian Neville again, showed me a lot. So you can possibly have that. So is he gonna be like the future face of the company? He definitely possibly can. But then you got Adrian Neville, who's out there. If he does high risk stuff, then there's always that possibility he's gonna get hurt. But what he showed me Monday was like, yo, this kid has definitely
especially with the future be doing. If someone counters that man, I'm sorry, I ain't gonna be surprised if he get hurt.
Actually, I can see Randy Orton countering that with the RKO in the middle of the air.
I can see that too. When he did that time with Evan Bourne, when he's doing that his little 360 thing, and Randy Orton caught him, that was nice.
So,
speaking of Daniel Bryan, turns out he does not need second surgery, and so he may be back in time for Survivor Series.
That's what they're saying. And again,
if it's true, then hey,
I would no.
Let's welcome him back. Let's go.
No, I wouldn't bring him back. I wouldn't bring him back. I wouldn't bring him back to a Royal Rumble.
Well, okay.
Have him do the run-in. Bam.
Well, he's not bring him in.
No, you never know. Stinking Cena did.
Okay, Cena did it. Okay.
Stinking Cena did.
This is Roman Reigns
and he
time.
did it. Okay.
This is Roman Reigns.
But my point is this. If you want Daniel Bryan to come back, and if you want to try to capture the same hype and excitement that you had, Survivor Series is not the time to do it. Royal Rumble is, because everyone always looks for those two things at Royal Rumbles. You look for Kofi Kingston to do his miraculous save or whatever. And you look for who's going to come in to the ring. Is it going to be somebody from the Attitude Era, someone that's famous or whatever? You're looking to see who's going to run down that thing. Daniel Bryan doing that thing. Kurt Angle coming, doing his thing. Bam. What greater pop to have him come out in Royal Rumble?
I understand. It's just the WWE. It's lost a lot of energy since Daniel Bryan's been gone.
So you're saying it's his fault?
Huh? No, I'm not. I was just saying, hey, you know that when Daniel Bryan was there each week, they were full of energy. Full of energy. Now it's just more of we're waiting for Roman Reigns to come out. Because we saw Daniel Bryan a couple times at night. But you gotta wait for Roman Reigns to come out, or you gotta wait for...
I think this might be our last pay-per-view. Because I didn't renew.
I thought it was up to October, but...
Is it October? Because I didn't renew. I got the email asking me to renew. And I haven't renewed. I'm going to see if they're going to take it down to $5.99 to get me to buy it. If they do $5.99, give me a deal, then I'll do it. But so far, I'm still thinking. And getting his lazy behind up to do some daggone work instead of getting up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon to do stuff.
I don't get it so far. I get up at 10:30 in the morning.
So, right now, Raw is the best show on television, followed by NXT, followed by SmackDown.
It's not on television.
Well, wrestling, followed by NXT, followed by SmackDown, followed by TNA. And apparently Ring of Honor is pretty good, but I haven't seen it on TV. It's not popular, so I heard the wrestling there is pretty good, but I can't really find that much stuff on it as far as on television-wise, and I'm sure it's on YouTube or whatever, but we'll see.
You know what I was thinking about the other day? You know how much he tells us how much he hates when people do that Hulk Hogan syndrome or whatever, where you say like where people will get beat up for 90 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever,
okay,
and then all of a sudden miraculously they just get their strength back, like Cena or Hogan. How come you don't get that way with the Undertaker when he does it? Like for example, WrestleMania, and not just because it's a streak, but just because he gets beat up for most of the match, and all of a sudden, whoop.
No, that's not true.
He gets up?
No, that's not true. See, you don't know your history. The Undertaker, the Undertaker will get dominated for 15 minutes, and the person who's dominating him, whoever that is, they'll be like, yeah, he's down, yeah, and talking crap, and then Undertaker sits up. And then they'll go over there and they'll beat him down, throw whatever move they got him, and then they'll get up, they'll talk trash, and then the Undertaker get up.
Exactly. Like
no, that's not no. Hulk Hogan gets dominated. It goes back and forth for about a couple minutes, and then for 30 minutes, Hulk Hogan's down. Then all of a sudden he pumps up, just like John Cena. Undertaker doesn't do that. The Undertaker
he does it at WrestleMania.
No, the Undertaker has moves where he's getting dominated, but he has his moves in between, and they're not trying to pin him. He just sits up, and then they beat him down. And they go for the pin. Before they go for the pin, he sits up. It's not the same thing.
It's kind of like
it's not the same
when
thing.
They're beating down Bray Wyatt, and all of a sudden he does that spider thing.
Okay, but it's not the same thing. The Undertaker has never got dominated, and all of a sudden he comes back up. No, that happens sporadically, multiple times in the match, where he either sits up or he kicks out.
See, I'm
think about Kane. Kane does the same thing. Who did Kane fight recently? No, Kane just did it not a couple weeks ago.
He did it to Daniel Bryan.
He did it a couple months ago.
Like at Extreme Rules, after Daniel Bryan had beaten him, he celebrated, and all of a sudden he sits up like the Undertaker.
Right. So again, he's celebrating. That's what the Undertaker did. The person is always celebrating, walking around the Undertaker, and then all of a sudden the Undertaker steps up, or he went for a pin. Undertaker, you can't compare what Undertaker did with Hulk Hogan, what John Cena did. No.
Okay, it's just the thought had came to me. It's just like he said he hates this Hulk Hogan syndrome, but Taker kind of does the same thing.
He does not do the same thing. Go back and look at all Taker's matches. He does not get beat up for the majority of the match, and then wins.
Maybe like half the match.
The Undertaker. Right? No. The Undertaker kicks out within 5 minutes. If he's getting dominated, he has gotten dominated before, where he sits up, and then he'll have his little spurt, and then they reverse it, and then the Undertaker's down again. Then the person is celebrating. Undertaker sits up. So it's not all of a sudden I'm beating him for 30 minutes, then he sits up. No, Undertaker does the sit up skit like 3 or 4 times in the match to say I'm not down, I'm not out, and then he goes to his old school and then whatever Last Ride or the Hell's Gate or whatever he does. But it ain't like Cena, it ain't like what Hulk Hogan did.
All right, it's just something that came to me. I just wanted to see what he was gonna say. Guess that's about it.
All right, so I'm watching NXT for $9.99. So for Stephen J and for Simply Steve, we're talking about wrestling. We out Adi. We answered your question about Roman Reigns and everything like that. Got another question? Hit us back up, man. Appreciate the love. Peace out.
Other people, please comment us though.
That's your boy. You see what I'm talking about? It's exactly what Simple Steve, y'all. Simply Steve.